SS93 on this, the DG podcast.
the DW talking about SS 98 DG.
Go ahead. Hit, I don't know, one of the Big Show's theme songs.
Devoid Wrestling Podcast, yeah, we're still getting started. Watching old shows and ragging on them. It's Big Mike and it's Derrick, talking about freaking wrestling. We know how this whole thing goes. Sometimes we go to the shows. Get ready for the podcast, 'cause we're gonna get started now.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. And welcome to the Devoid Wrestling Podcast. This is the one where we talk about wrestling.
The one that we're supposed to talk about wrestling.
The one where we will get to modern wrestling. Don't you worry. We will talk about
the next two episodes are probably going to be the most modern wrestling that we've done all year.
I think is it the only modern? No, we did WrestleMania. But we didn't do like
that doesn't count though.
We didn't actually That's it. We also didn't talk about wrestling. Have we talked about modern wrestling at all this year? We have on the Brainbuster Boys podcast. If you go back to watch our podcast on their podcast about Sacrifice 2022, there we did talk about wrestling.
We did the Royal Rumble live stream with Marsh in January.
That's right. Well,
that's also
Was I on that for a little bit? That was mostly you.
For the Seth Rollins Roman Reigns match.
Yeah, I probably had work or something that day.
Which is Roman Reigns' best match of the year.
I haven't watched this past week's SmackDown, but I did hear that the Riddle match was pretty good.
Well, you know what else is also called pretty good? The 1998 edition of Survivor Series, colloquially known as
the Deadly Game.
The Deadly Games.
The Deadly Game. The only thing Vince Russo's done right.
No. Royal Rumble 99 was pretty good. We'll
talk about that at another time.
Yeah. Next week. Next week.
Oh yeah, the Rumble where Vince won is pretty good.
Well, that's not what I meant. I just meant as a whole. It's pretty good. But as a story, that's good. It's just executed very poorly.
Right. That's WWE to a T right there.
Yeah. So, the Deadly Games, which, hold on, I've got the stats. Give
me the stats. Stat boy Tony, tell me what's good.
So this happened on November 15th, 1998 at the Cal Center in St. Louis, Missouri, with an attendance of just over 21,000 people. Jim Johnston wrote the theme song. It's called Deadly Game. The tagline is Deadly Game. And what was the competition doing? Well, in this same month,
they were having the best year of their existence.
Yeah, that a week later, WCW would have the final World War III pay-per-view at the Palace of Auburn Hills Arena in Auburn Hills, Michigan, where the main event was actually DDP versus Bret Hart for the WCW US Championship.
Oh, sounds amazing.
Yeah, this card actually sounds pretty good. The World War III match is always pretty good. Chris Jericho versus Bobby Duncombe.
Bobby Duncombe? Yes.
Yeah, Scott Steiner versus Rick Steiner in a match that didn't happen. Billy Kidman versus Juventud Guerrera. Ernest Miller and Sonny Ono versus Perry Saturn and Kaz Hayashi.
Kaz Hayashi.
Yeah, Stevie Ray
From the Young
versus
Dragons.
Conan, and Wrath versus Glacier.
Oh, fun.
So Atom Bomb versus Glacier.
I have to ask, because I'm thinking about the WCW timeline. Is this Scott before he dyed his hair blonde? Is this like this
Yeah,
is
this
like
is that weird
Rick's
era that
tag
you
team
love.
partner? Yeah, this is like when you see Bradshaw on SmackDown in 2003,
Which we have.
which we have. For some more context about shit that doesn't actually matter on this card, I would love to talk about what appears to have been the 3 matches that happened before the show started. So, first off, the main card had 13 matches, so the crowd did not need these 3. Sorry,
I wrote this down. Yeah, I wrote down because I watched Heat today.
You watched the Heat? I didn't watch the Heat, so maybe you could tell me about how the matches are from
cool.
this.
So Michael Cole and Jim Cornette are on the call.
The thing I want to mention first is that the dark match, not even on Heat, the match that they had before Heat was, this is crazy to me to even think about, was Too Much, Brian Christopher and Scott Taylor versus defeating the Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
Matt and Jeff. Before they were really a thing, and before Too Cool was Too Cool.
Yeah. So, yeah. It's real weird, huh?
It's real weird. Tell me about the Heat on Heat.
Okay, so Michael Cole and Jim Cornette are on the call. And that's like a weird thing to think about, like Jim Cornette knowing Michael Cole. So the first match is the Job Squad of Scorpio, and Bob Holly with Al Snow versus the new Legion of Doom with Darren Drozdov.
Fuck.
It's really boring, and I have as a note, this is the AEW Dark Elevation of matches. So Al Snow uses head to knock Draws out, and then Scorpio gets the pinfall in a really boring match.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. It's Bob Holly. He doesn't wrestle in exciting style.
Yeah. Match 2 is Tiger Ali Singh versus Val Venus. And Tiger Ali Singh is coming out with Babu in this really weird Indian Arabic stereotype character. Like, really weird and uncomfortable.
Who the fuck is Babu?
I don't know.
Hold on. What the fuck? Babu.
Did I say it right? Because I could have said it wrong.
Babu is an Ecuadorian professional wrestler. He is best known under the names El Puerto Riqueño and Ubas, and with the World Wrestling Federation as Babu. He was there for 3 years.
Yeah, Tiger Ali Singh stopped wrestling in 2003 and then sued WWE for $7 million because he got hurt while it was raining. According to Wikipedia, that is the truth.
Babu, important to note that I just read at the bottom of the independent circuit section, Marquez, Babu, was the referee for the Ultimate Warrior versus Orlando Jordan match in Spain in 2008. So the more you know.
This is barely a match. This is like a 2 minute. This is a 2 minute. People are in the ring at the same time. The Godfather runs down and attacks Tyler Ali Singh, and Val Venus wins by pinfall because the Godfather interfered. It's real weird.
What if I told you that this match was longer than the Job Squad Legion of Doom match?
It's real weird because Val Venus like does a promo beforehand and like whips up all the ladies because he talks like the Attitude Era. Like it's really weird.
Val Venus is a guy who only could have been successful when he was around.
Yeah. The next is like a little bit of a segment where Dead on Arrival comes out and then the APA forms because that's the first time on Heat is the first time that Bradshaw and Farouk team up, and they just attack him and just like hit DOA with chairs.
Hold on. So you're telling me that the APA, the Acolyte Protection Agency, the famous tag team of Farouk and Bradshaw, started because they needed to beat up DOA?
Yeah, it's real. I'm like, oh, it's APA. And you just hear Jim Cornette saying, what are Bradshaw and Farouk doing together? It's just like, oh, I guess this is when they started. On Heat. Yeah. Then behind the scenes, Kevin Kelly talks to the New Age Outlaws about their match that comes up, and then a brawl between the three teams that we'll talk about happens. Mm-hmm. Then it cuts to commercial. Then Tony Schiavone, Kevin Kelly, just appears in the ring to talk to Sable, and then she's attacked by Jacqueline, referencing their match that happens later. Then the main event of Heat is Steve Blackman versus Gangrel of the Brood. This match is boring as fuck. So Gangrel wins, and I'm not even kidding. On 3, you just see either Edge or Christian, I forget which one, and I saw it today, literally splashes onto Blackman. Like it's 1, 2, 3 beat, like literal second beat. Like he's attacked upon, and they're just like, dude, Scott, I think like there should have been a little more time. And then Steve Blackman, they're holding on them. The blue blazer comes out of nowhere on the thing, like circling down. And this is what I wrote in a stream of consciousness. It's the blue blazer. It's weird. This is awkward. He's stuck, and it's funny. And Blackman attacks him. But I can't watch this. This is Owen Hart, and they treated him like this. Fuck WWE. Because it's the whole laugh. The whole like bit is that like he's like coming down on like the zip, whatever it is, and he's just like on the ground, like nobody's like helping him like on clip. So he's just like on the ground, and then he just gets suspended back up, and like they're calling him the Blue Pinata. And it's real.
That ages awfully. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's real uncomfortable to watch. And it's just like, fuck WWE that this was the Blue Blazer in 98. Because they're just like, I'm not sure if the Blue Blazer is Owen Hart. Is Owen Hart the Blue Blazer? As pre-match stuff is happening.
Wasn't the character thing kind of like Ezekiel now, where everyone's like, that's Owen Hart, right?
It's more like Mr. America, where everybody knows except for the person.
No, Mr. America was sort of a similar thing to the Ezekiel thing, because it was one person. It was Vince McMahon being like, that's Hulk Hogan, and everyone else being like, no, it's Mr. America.
Okay, and then the end, the final segment of Heat is a Vince McMahon promo, because he wants to talk to The Rock and Austin. So The Rock comes out, and then face Shane McMahon comes out, then Austin comes out, and Vince is like, and then The Undertaker comes out, and Austin goes to fight him, and then X-Pac comes out, and then Austin and The Rock brawl, and then Big Boss Man comes out, and then Mankind comes out, and then Goldust comes out, and then Regal and Shamrock come out, and then Al Snow is here, and it's just like a Raw before Money in the Bank. And then Kane saunters out with literally 30 seconds left and stares down The Undertaker. And then it's we'll see you in like 2 minutes. It's a real, that's how the show closes. It's literally a Raw before Money in the Bank, or a Raw before Survivor Series.
Micah, how do you rate that episode of Sunday Night Heat?
1 out of 4, because it's real. 1 out of 4, because stuff does not age, and then like it makes you think, because like literally in less than a year, Owen Hart is dead. So like It's real weird. Like I think 6 months, because doesn't he die in May, and this happens in November? So like literally 6 months.
Right.
So it's like really weird. Obviously, WWF didn't know at the time. Everybody can relax.
Right.
They didn't know that this was
They
gonna
didn't
happen.
know.
But this is still really weird to watch now. Like
Can
of
you
all the
imagine
stuff but of all the
if-
stuff they cut, like Peacock cuts, you'd think that they would want to cut Owen Hart shit, you know, like this kind of Owen Hart. Stuff.
Yeah, the stuff where it's like, haha, Owen Hart's suspended because of the thing he's on.
Yeah, you would just think that they would want to cut that,
right?
I don't know. I don't because I don't want to. You only get one.
You fucker. This is why you're toxic.
I'm toxic, but I'm respectful.
You're respectful only once.
Yeah, that's it.
You only get one, sorry.
All right, yeah. So like, yeah, that whole segment, that whole ending segment was just like, oh, I get why Raw thinks that this is a good idea to do every week. Of like, I want to face the champion. No, I want to face the champion. No, I want to face the champion. You can all face the champion if you're in a match together.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to the main show, Derek.
Yes. Which we do need a little bit of context to make the main show make sense. And that is that after the events of Breakdown in your house, the WWF Championship was vacated. This was in September. So how it was decided to solve the vacancy of the WWF Championship was to have a tournament to decide the new WWF champion. And the members of the tournament, Mike has already said pretty much all of their names, but I'll say them again. The Undertaker, Kane, Goldust, Ken Shamrock, Big Boss Man, The Rock.
No, Triple H.
Triple H, The Rock. Triple H, The Rock. Stone Cold Steve Austin, Big Boss Man. Steven Regal, important distinction. X-Pac, Jeff Jarrett, Al Snow, Mankind, and a mystery opponent.
Yes.
And so the show begins with Mankind versus the mystery opponent.
Mm-hmm.
And Vince McMahon is out on the ring. And he gives this very kind speech. This very large speech about how his mystery opponent is someone who has a long history with the WWF and someone who's been WWF true and true from the beginning.
Like a football superstar.
Football superstar. He's been out of action for so many years with a record-setting win-loss record. Out comes pre-Gilbert Dwayne Gill.
Yeah, and they say like the football team that he's a part of, and then they say that he's the coach of like a middle school team.
Yeah, right.
Which is funny, I guess.
Right. And some more context is that also around this time, Mankind is sort of cozying himself up to be like the chosen one from the corporation.
Yeah, and like Vince McMahon still doesn't like him, but like he's just kind of and Mankind calls him dad.
Yep, and Mankind comes out in the first match in a full suit.
And his hair is like nice and shit.
Right. He in the first match.
Mm-hmm.
Which lasts a total of 30 seconds.
Yeah, this is a squash.
This is the obvious rigging towards Mankind that happens in this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Every single air quote intended. I mean, match-wise, like 0.5 out of 5, because it wasn't really a match.
I got this as a dud.
Yeah, this was an angle, not a match. And for how great this pay-per-view is, there's a lot of angles.
Yeah. And even the matches that are matches are still kind of angles.
Right.
like this is a really good
especially.
Angle. Right. Yeah.
Some especially are angles. But this was a great angle. You know, it was nice to see Dwayne Gill. It was a cool little you thought it was going to be someone fun. It was like what AEW does accidentally sometimes, but WWE did on purpose.
Yeah. The next match is Al Snow versus Jeff Jarrett in another first round match.
Al Snow, of course, is with Head in this one.
Yeah, I have a headache.
Nice. And Jeff Jarrett is out with Deborah McMichael. It was interesting to me because I didn't realize that they used the McMichael name in WWF for Deborah too. I thought she was just Deborah when she was in the WWF.
I think they just colloquially say Deborah, but like Jim
Right.
Ross. You know how Jim Ross is like Jungle Boy Jack Perry?
Right, Jim Ross. Names are suggestions to Jim Ross.
Jim Ross is just like, who cares? Jim Ross is like, who the fuck cares about kayfabe? I don't know anything.
Ryback could debut on AEW right now, and Jim Ross would go, "Oh my god, it's Skip Sheffield."
No, he'd say Ryback.
He call him the Ryback.
Yeah. Oh my god, look at this behemoth of a man, the Ryback.
So anyway, Al Snow and Jeff Jarrett have a match that I kind of wished was longer. Like, they did a really interesting thing with this match where they played up everyone loving Al Snow and Head. They kind of played up, oh, he's in the job squad, this will probably be a squash. It'll probably be a 3-minute match and someone will win. And that's true. It was a 3-minute match and someone will win. It's just that person was Al Snow and not Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, it was really weird because like they both teased using each other's like weapon of choice. Like Al Snow grabbed the guitar and Jeff Jarrett grabbed Head. And Jeff Jarrett hits Al Snow with Head twice, but not effectively enough because Al Snow hits him once and then wins.
Right.
Which is weird.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I honestly kind of love, this match, I think, is kind of the staple of the better parts of the Attitude Era, where it was like this kind of crazy story-filled mess in like a 3-minute package that was enjoyable to watch as a wrestling match, to me at least.
I guess because in retrospect, like, I'm paying nothing because Peacock, but if I were to pay for a pay-per-view like this, I guess I would be a little upset.
I mean, this is what the Attitude Era was like at the time, Matches rarely went over 10 minutes. The longest match
WWF,
on this show.
But I would say that's true in WWF, but in WCW,
right.
matches
WCW,
go on.
I will make the argument that the Attitude Era doesn't ever pertain to WCW when saying the Attitude Era. I think of that as a specific time period in WWE.
I guess
that's the era I feel specific to WWE, because WCW's eras. Well, because WCW has like more defined eras, I feel, in that time span of what's colloquially known as the Attitude Era.
Good NWO and bad NWO and NWO 2000.
WCW 96 to 98 is a very different WCW than WCW from 99 to 2001.
Yeah. Oh, you mean good?
I mean,
I would say there's the Nitro. I would say like Nitro era. Like that's what I would call like
right.
WCW, because there was like pre-Nitro and then there's like Nitro.
Right.
And then within Nitro, yeah.
I give this short fun match 2.5 out of 5 stars.
I give 1.5 out of 4.
Fair, valid. Anyway, who likes fuck finishes? The WWF does, because up next is Stone Cold Steve Austin versus the Big Boss Man. The Big Boss Man being another one of the representatives of the corporation.
This is the first Big Boss Man.
This is the first Big Boss Man match of the night,
yeah.
And the longest one.
I was going to say this is his first appearance, because if we can get a counter at the end about how many times we see the fucking Big Boss Man.
Oh my god, yeah. This is his first of 2 matches, and this is the longest of 2 matches, clocking in at a whopping 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
Well, you can't really beat the second one. Like the second one is quite literally.
The second one is quite. The second one is quite literally the shortest match in WWF history.
Yeah, it's 4 seconds.
It's 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, Stone Cold Steve Austin and the Big Boss Man have something that I guess qualifies as a match.
There was a bell ring. this is like AEW. This is like what people think AEW actually is.
Yeah. The Boss Man, for the fact that they were trying to not have Stone Cold win the tournament, having your guy go out there and get himself disqualified so that Stone Cold advances to the next round is a little short-sighted.
Yeah. Yeah, there really isn't much of a match.
No.
I mean, you can only do so much when you have like 17 matches on the night.
Right.
Bossman hits Austin with a nightstick.
Yep.
The first of more than one nightstick ending matches.
This might be like the most important the Big Boss Man has ever been in the WWF is on this pay-per-view.
Right? And he had a feud where he stole Big Show's dad's casket.
He got hung by The Undertaker.
Yeah. And this is like the night where it's just like, oh shit, the Big Boss Man is like a major heel.
You're right.
Yeah. Austin wins by DQ. I give this a half star out of 4 just because there is I get it. Like there's like a sensation when it's an Austin match, even when it's an Attitude Era Austin match. Like there is like a, oh shit, Austin's pretty, like he's pretty dope.
Right. And like it kind of makes sense in the story they're telling on the pay-per-view. Like not the Big Boss Man getting himself disqualified, but like continuing the beat down after the match, trying to make sure Stone Cold isn't in good condition for his next round matchup. Which, while we're talking about Stone Cold's next round matchup, his opponent gets determined in the next match between Steven Regal and X-Pac. And who likes fuck finishes? The WWF does.
Derek, I think I found a worse move. Because remember when we talk about like what's the worst move? The slingshot to the middle of the ring might be worse than the slingshot to the corner.
Yeah. Any slingshot's a bad move. The slingshot's a bad move. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
The slingshot doesn't make sense. The Irish whip doesn't make sense. And the overdrive doesn't make sense.
No, the double stomp doesn't make sense.
Oh, the fucking Del Rio double stomp where they have to like be holding themselves up in the corner before he does the move.
The even worse coup de grace.
That move doesn't make any sense. Like that was just the worst. The fact that he made that his finisher for a while was bad.
To win the US Championship.
He won the US Championship with like a fucking Enziguri or something. Like
he won the WWE Championship with an Enziguri. He is not Antonio Inoki.
Albert, I guess Del Rio has the greatest Enziguri of all time.
It's better than Antonio, and it's as good as Antonio Inoki because I bet that's what he beat Bob Backlund with.
Oh, that's probably fair. But anyway, the next match.
No, we have to still talk about Steven Regal and X-Pac because
that's what I mean by the next match.
Yeah. This is a weird match. And then, okay, can we just go to the ending because there's a lot of matches? Because they like beat each other up, they get counted out, and then they were gonna extend the time by 5 minutes as if that matters. And then nothing happens. So X-Pac just walks away. Doesn't Regal win them?
No, because Regal also went backstage.
But X-Pac walked backstage first. Wouldn't that get like what is going on? WWE has always been bad.
Commissioner Slaughter came out and like that this match is continuing, and both of them went, "Doesn't work for me, brother. Sorry." And they just left, causing a double count out, and more importantly, giving Stone Cold Steve Austin a bye to the semifinals.
Yeah, if you would think that there was rigging for Stone Cold, you would think that it was now.
Right.
Like what? Like, yeah. The next match.
We gotta rate the match.
Oh, we do. I give this 3/4 out of 4 because Steven Regal.
I give it 1 out of 5 stars because it's an 8-minute match that actually doesn't matter at all in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah,
It's
as of
8
right now,
minutes
this
for
is the
nothing.
this is the longest match of the night so far, and it's still bad.
Yeah, it's the longest match of the night, and I don't know why, because it ended in a double count out.
Yeah. The next match is the first true match of the night, I feel, with Ken Shamrock versus Goldust.
Oh yeah, because it actually ended with like a finish. It ended.
Yeah. Yeah, Derek, talk about it.
God, I want to talk specifically about Ken Shamrock because Ken Shamrock, showing by this match, first of all, is the workhorse of this pay-per-view. And Ken Shamrock, I think, is someone who never really got his flowers for his run during the Attitude Era. Sorry, you were going to say something?
No?
Oh, sorry. You made an inhale like you were going to say something.
I can't breathe anymore, Derek?
No, actually. Shit. That's the only way we can stop you from saying toxic things.
Nice.
No, but so yeah, they have an actual match. They sort of exchange momentum back and forth, which is nice. It's fun to see. It's interesting. It's a good match. Maybe some fuck stuff happens when Goldust goes for the Shattered Dreams, a move that is illegal. Like, that's an illegal move, and they just stopped caring after a while. Like in the Goldust WWE run.
They're and like, AEW. They don't care in AEW either.
Yeah, no one cares anymore. They're like, Goldust can kick people in the nuts. It's fine.
But he clearly hits the rope. I think even in kayfabe, he hits the rope.
Well, because that's the thing. In this match, it's treated as an illegal move, and the ref stops him from low blowing Ken Shamrock, which gives Ken Shamrock the perfect opportunity to hit Goldust with a fucking Hurricane Rana, and then get him into an ankle lock.
Yeah,
Ken Shamrock rules, man.
Yeah, I gave this 2 out of 4 just because of the Hurricane Rana.
I gave this match 3 out of 5 because Ken Shamrock rules. Like, the TNA made a right choice by having him be their first like world champion in the like that sphere. Ken Shamrock rules.
Next up is The Rock versus Triple H.
It's actually not. Triple H he's kayfabe injured, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And so Triple H needs a replacement, and out comes the motherfucking Big Boss Man.
Actually, first, Briscoe and Slaughter come out to the DX team, and it's kind of funny.
Right.
It's kind of funny. But but Derek, do you want to talk about what this match actually is?
Yeah. So this match isn't a match. It's actually quite literally like hardly a match. The Big Boss Man comes out, and within 3 seconds, literally 3 or 4 seconds, gets pinned by The Rock, and the match is over. And if you're thinking, the rigging towards The Rock has begun, but then you also thought, the rigging towards Steve Austin has begun, but then you were also thinking, the rigging towards Mankind has begun, congratulations, you're watching this pay-per-view correctly.
Yeah. You're just like, what the fuck is going on?
This is the point where the story and the mystery of the pay-per-view becomes, who is this pay-per-view being rigged towards? Who is the corporation trying to make their champion? It should be Mankind, but Boss Man got himself DQ'd against Stone Cold so he could advance. But then Boss Man also lost like quickly to The Rock, which is also suspicious. So, I mean, I give this match 0 because it's not a match.
Yeah, this is a dud because it's literally 4 seconds.
It's literally the shortest match in WWE history.
Yeah. The next match is the first match of the quarterfinals.
It's also the first time these two people appear in the tournament because for some reason they got a bye straight to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, because Vince wanted them to actually fight.
Right.
So they didn't put them in the first round. Give the spot to whatever.
Right? Like, because it would not have hurt for each of these two to get a win before they fought each other in the tournament.
Yeah, they can't even have a good match together. And like this is like the third or fourth time that they fought each other in 1998.
Yeah, somehow for being like sonically linked in the world of wrestling, they have like negative chemistry in the ring against each other. It's very weird, honestly. But yeah, this match was not good, and also it was a match.
And also it ended weirdly again. Because Kane's foot was under the rope that Paul Bearer was holding. This is what people think AEW is.
Okay, like wrestling psychology question here, right? Because that's a spot that happens somewhat frequently. The foot being held down so that someone can't kick out. What does holding someone's foot down do in terms of them not being able to get their shoulders up?
Yeah, isn't Kane a demon? Like, does that not matter?
Kane is a hell demon.
Yeah.
Kane is a hell demon who survived being set on fire by The Undertaker.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
this is...
he can't stop Paul Bearer holding his foot down. I give this match a 0.5 out of 5 stars because, I mean, it looks like they tried.
I give it 1 out of 4 because at least it was longer than 3 minutes.
Yeah. It's like, I think they tried for this, so that deserves something, you know?
Yeah. Let's just move on. Mankind versus Al Snow.
Yep. Hold on, I gotta read about this match because I forgot about anything that happened in it.
Yeah, I don't like that we're just going right to the ending, but this is going to be so long anyways.
Right. Well, I mean, like, most of these matches are like 3 minutes long.
Yeah.
Because it's the Attitude Era.
Because of course it is.
And Vince Russo writes television, not wrestling.
This is great television.
It is very good television. Like, at this point, it's become like a whodunit fighting soap opera. And it's very fun, I think.
Yeah. So basically, the whole night, the past couple weeks, Mr. Sacco is lost.
That's right.
And conveniently, it's right around head Mr. Sacco. And so like Mankind is just like entranced and like beats up head a little bit and then wins by submission because he does the mandible claw.
Yep. I believe this is the match where he lost the niceness in his hair as the part of his suit that he lost.
Yeah. He's becoming unhinged both physically and mentally.
One of my favorite parts of this show is that throughout the night, Mankind keeps losing parts of his suit.
Man, this is literally the Spider-Man 3 arc for Mankind, where his physical demons start to come out as he physically looks different.
Right.
I gave this 1.5 out of 4 because like something happened. There was like there was progression. There was character arc and progression.
Right. I gave this 2 out of 5 stars for that exact reason. It wasn't much of a match, but it was some story. It is trying to get us to the end. It is part of the progression for Mankind. One of the people this tournament is seemingly rigged for.
This is like an anime. Like, this whole show is like an anime.
This match, Mankind versus Al Snow at Survivor Series 1998, is the B plot to the Mankind anime.
Yeah. No, I'm not even kidding. I just came up with that analogy. Like, this whole show is an anime.
This is the like Dragon Ball Z movies equivalent.
Yeah. I was gonna say like Pokemon Forever.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So the next match, oh thank God, The Rock versus Ken Shamrock.
This is the best match of the night because it's an actual wrestling match and it's an actually good wrestling match.
And if you love fuck finishes, well then talk about a fuck finish.
Talk about a fuck finish, but one that works and
works on multiple levels.
It works on multiple levels because it starts to plant the doubts that they're trying to rig this towards The Rock now.
But you still kind of don't know this.
Right. But like before you're like, the boss man, oh, that's shady. Maybe they're rigging it towards The Rock, but then they're like, no. Because the boss man was trying to give Shamrock the nightstick to win.
Yeah, he threw it so far that like The Rock has to like one hand catch the nightstick.
Right. Which he does, and it's very impressive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The former football star, The Rock. I'm pretty sure he's caught a few. He's caught a few footballs back in his day. That's American football. Matt Willis.
You know, Graham's also from the UK, right?
Yeah, but like Graham lives. But Graham knows that when we say football, we mean football. Like we don't have to like American-splain.
You know you don't have to do that to begin with, right? I'm pretty sure Matt Willis knows what American football is.
No, you really just have to spell it out for him because he can't spell it enough.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, right. I'm being a little too mean. I'm sorry. Yeah, I give this 3 out of 4. It was fun and that's important, but also it was important to the night. Like this is part of the A block.
I give this match 3.5 out of 5 stars because it's a good wrestling match, which you don't really see a lot of in the Attitude Era. You see a lot of good stories that are disguised as matches.
Yeah.
But this is like an actually good wrestling match that also has a really good story to it, and it's the best use of the Big Boss Man of the night.
Yeah. And now for the filler plot of this anime. It's Sable versus Jacqueline for the WWF Women's Championship.
If you thought a 16-person tournament wasn't enough, there's also 2 other title matches on this show.
That kind of nicely split up like
right.
the quarterfinals and semifinals from the semifinals and final.
Right. Like when I book tournaments in Journey of Wrestling, this is kind of how I do it without even realizing that this is how I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sable is very over.
Yes, she is. Jesus Christ, she's over.
Yeah, and also Lucky Brock Lesnar is what I wrote. That's my one close to objectifying statement. Sable is very pretty, and I would not look her in the eyes if I saw her ever.
Yeah, this is part of my least favorite era of women's wrestling in the WWE. Because it's just objectification. And also, it's objectification and Jacqueline trying her hardest.
Because, like, Sable's not good.
No, not at all.
And it's crazy because, like, they tried this with Trish Stratus, and then Trish Stratus just became a very good wrestler, and they were just like, oh, shit, we can't even objectify her anymore. It's like the same thing with Lita. They were just like, oh, shit, she's a good wrestler. Damn it, I thought we just got a hot lady.
Right. It's just, yeah.
And no offense, I think they're starting to do that now with like Carmella and Lacey Evans. Like,
well, you know, now that it seems like the person responsible for that might be fired as a scapegoat, maybe that won't happen.
Yeah, like tune in.
Yeah, because like
weeks. Tune in
for
2 weeks for us to what could happen in 2 weeks that like every time we say like the state of the wrestling world what's happened in the past month is like crazier than what's happened in the past year,
literally. But
that's in 2 weeks. Stay tuned for the state of the wrestling world.
The match finishes Thankfully, it was 3 minutes because halfway through the match, I considered just skipping it.
Yeah, with a weird power bomb that they call the Sable bomb because they just don't want to say Vader bomb.
Right.
Or Liger bomb, whatever. Get over yourselves, WWF.
0.5 out of 5 because it's for a title.
1.5 out of 4 because Sable got 14-year-old animal brain and me excited.
Fucking hell. Anyway, we're on to story-wise probably one of the juiciest matches of the night.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
The moistest match of the night.
Now everybody has shut up.
Mankind versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, at this point in the show, the tournament is for one of these two to win. So, like, smart Mark wrestling fan in me would be like, if I didn't already know the outcomes before I watched the pay-per-view, would be like, oh, whoever wins this match wins the whole shebang.
Yeah, like your like preconceived notion is like, oh, Austin Rock in the final. That makes sense.
Right.
Kind of like how it was like in the first Eliminator tournament. It was like, oh, this is like Kenny Hangman. This is like so easy. Like what the finals is going to be.
Right, exactly. So, they start off the match. Very quickly, the jacket comes off. Mankind has now lost his jacket.
Soon he will lose his pants.
Soon he will. He's down to Mankind attire.
Yeah.
And you know, they have a good match. They have a pretty good match.
Yeah, there's some NWO shit in here.
Yeah. The corporation does the corporation thing in this match, very much so. We get appearances from like all of the cronies, essentially.
Every single low crony.
Every single one of them. And then the ref gets knocked out.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, fuck, shit, what does this mean? We're gonna need another referee. And of course,
Aubrey Edwards.
And of course, we get Gerald Briscoe and Sergeant Slaughter coming out to hit Austin with a chair.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's no ref. Out comes, at this point, not a part of the corporation, referee Shane McMahon, who was the referee of the previous match between Sable and Jacqueline.
Right.
And Shane McMahon counts the 3 to send Mankind to the final. Corporation has fully screwed over Austin. I don't know if Austin will ever get his comeuppance on Vince McMahon.
Yeah, will Austin ever win the WWF championship?
We'll find out.
Maybe tomorrow night on Raw. I don't know. He doesn't. Not tomorrow. Not tomorrow night. I say that this is a sports entertainment classic.
Yeah, this is Ken Shamrock versus The Rock is the best wrestling match of the night. This match is the best sports entertainment match of the night.
Yeah, 2 out of 4 for sure.
I give it a 3 out of 5. Good show. Good show.
Yeah, it's about the same. The next match, The Undertaker versus The Rock.
Well, I have to read about this too because this is the second time I kind of have to look over what happened in one of his matches tonight. I need to say The Undertaker really didn't get good in the ring until like the 2000s.
I actually like The Undertaker like this though. Like he's not like moving slowly and shit like he did in like 1992. It's like not methodical. Also, the Samoan drop. I think anybody who does the Samoan drop looks good doing it because like The Rock is doing it all night. It looks so good. Like
I think
Roman Reigns
just a good wrestling move.
Like Roman Reigns does it the best, I think, because it looks like he's like putting his like entire like force into it, and it looks like The Rock is just like falling. But it's still a solid move.
I would like to actually throw my hat in for Jey Uso having the best current Samoan drop. The Usos, both of them, but especially Jay, has a really nice Samoan drop.
I hope Jey Uso wins the Universal Championship off of Roman Reigns. That
He's
would
not-
make
he's
my
not
little
going to.
that would make
He's
my
not
little
going to.
heart happy though.
They're going to lose the titles to the Street Profits, and you're going to like it.
No. So the Big Boss Man comes out during this match.
Motherfucking Big Boss Man. Like, what does he have on Vince that he had to be booked like this importantly in this pay-per-view?
And then Kane attacks The Rock, which gives The Rock the DQ win.
Hey, remember when Kane was WWE champion earlier this year? In 1998?
WWF doesn't.
I mean, he might have been champion for a day, but
yeah,
still.
literally lost it on Raw the next night to Austin.
It's okay. I'm sure Glenn Jacobs is very popular now.
Yeah, I'm sure that he's a very good person.
Let's just throw up like a couple of the terrible things he's
Just
said
throw
on
up
Twitter.
3 of them. 1, 2, 3. Just like the one that he posted recently that like made everybody just say like you're a bad person.
I'm sure there will be a new one when I edit this that I'll put up on there.
Doesn't this come out tomorrow?
It sure does.
Oh, Tuesday. No, tomorrow.
Tomorrow is Tuesday.
Yeah.
What day? What day is it?
Yeah. It's Wednesday. I give this a 2 out of 4. This the Rock versus the Undertaker. This is like fine, I guess.
I give it a 1.5 out of 5.
Wow.
Because sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
The penultimate match, the WWF Tag Team Championship match, the New Age Outlaws versus the Nation of Domination versus the Headbangers.
A fun thing to think that I love thinking about when watching this match is that like legitimately both in and out of kayfabe, the Headbangers are like the most hated tag team in the world at this time. Just because, like, no one wants to see them on their screen. They have, like, X-Pac heat to the extreme.
Yeah.
And, yeah, this is a match.
I said, so, like, rest in peace, Tim White. But in this match, he is Rick Knox levels of not paying attention to fucking anything.
Right. I mean, like, you would watch this match and sort of think that the ECW rules are in effect, where like every match is no disqualification.
Yeah. Well, this is the Attitude Era.
Well, it sure is. They have a match where they do some things.
Yeah.
It's 6 people who are all okay at wrestling at this time.
Yeah, Mark Henry is not good yet.
The probably the best wrestler in this match is either Billy Gunn or D'Lo Brown.
I would say Billy Gunn.
I'd say D'Lo Brown, but
it's crazy how like 4 of these people are still active in wrestling.
It's crazy how one of these people at time of recording like threw out wrestling moves and did a top rope splash last night.
Yeah, and like Billy Gunn is obviously like an AEW staple.
Yeah.
Road Dogg just got fired recently. D'Lo Brown, Aces and Eights is back, I guess.
Yeah, judging by like last night, you have to imagine D'Lo's probably returning to the ring soon.
Yeah. Mark Henry is the most over part of Rampage.
And the Headbangers haven't been seen since 2017. SmackDown.
Yeah. 1 out of 4 stars. This is a match.
1 out of 5 stars. This is a match.
Speaking of Mark Henry, it's time for the main event of the evening. For The Rock faces Mankind for the WWF Championship.
This makes the stuff that happened earlier in the pay-per-view that doesn't make sense make sense.
Yeah. This brings all the anime like throwbacks. Right. This is like where like flashbacks are happening to like the main characters. Like
this match is the villain explaining everything they've done so far to get to this point, but in a wrestling match.
Yeah. So let's just skip to the ending because nobody actually cares to see this match.
Because no one cares. I will say it's the longest match of the night at a whopping 17 minutes. This one's like an actual full match.
Yeah. It's like weird how long this is.
Yeah, it's weird how long it feels when it's like today's standards a shorter match.
Yeah.
So let's get to the ending.
Yeah, The Rock hits the people's elbow and then puts Mankind in the sharpshooter.
The worst sharpshooter. The Rock, like, good on him for trying to make the sharpshooter a thing in his arsenal, but he didn't do a good sharpshooter.
Yeah, and then the bell rings. But Mankind didn't tap. And it's the Montreal Screwjob part technically 3 because WCW did it a month later. But a year later,
Right.
They're already doing the Montreal Screwjob again.
Thankfully, this is the last time WWE would ever try to emulate the Montreal Screwjob.
Yeah, so The Rock is revealed as the corporate champion. And then I have written down, Mankind theory of humors this so hard, explaining everything that's going on to the folks who don't get it. Saying like, but Dad, I didn't tap out.
But it's so funny. I just love in wrestling people calling people that aren't their dads their dad. I don't know what it is, but it gets me every time.
Yeah.
Every time, like with the Acclaimed right now calling Billy Gunn daddy ass. It's beautiful.
It's just easy. And then Stone Cold comes out and beats up everybody and then beats up Mankind to give the fans something. Tune on Raw to see what's going on.
Tune on Raw to see what's going on. The Rock is the WWF champion. I believe, was this the first time he won the WWF championship too?
Maybe.
I believe this is his first WWF championship reign.
Nice. The first of a lot.
Micah, what do you give this match?
Oh, I don't even have it written down. 2 out of 4 because it's something.
I give this match a 3.25 out of 5 because it is a pretty good match. It's long, it's actual wrestling match length, and it is a good culmination to all of the events of the pay-per-view up to this point. Micah, how do you rate Survivor Series 1998?
2.5 out of 4. Like as a succinct story, it's really good. If you actually start to look at it, there's a lot of things that are just happening that make no sense. And like Heat makes it really weird because I watched Heat. And like there's some things that don't make sense, but there are some things that eventually make sense.
Right.
But you know, there's like too many squash matches. And I get that they had to fit all these matches in, but they did this themselves. They didn't. This could have been an 8-man tournament. Like in all sincerity, this could have been an 8-man tournament. Like they didn't have to.
And like, why did X-Pac deserve a shot to win the WWF championship?
Yeah, what did Steven Regal do? You know? Like what? Like I get it. Like why is there a mystery opponent?
Right.
You know, that's 4 people right there. Like I get Mankind. What did Al Snow do? What did Jeff Jarrett do in 1998?
Right. I give this show a 3.5 out of 5 because I really enjoy the booking of it. I really enjoy when wrestling can be a soap opera. And this is like a prime example of wrestling being a soap opera. But I would like to read really quickly, as I was just skimming it over on Wikipedia, what it says under reception. There's one small paragraph. In 2018, Kevin Pantoja of 411 Mania gave the event a rating of 3.5 out of 10. Bad. Stating, the show is remembered for the tournament, but it's not good. The only 2 matches I'd consider enjoyable are Mankind Austin and Mankind Rock. Everything else is either flat out bad, like the tag team or world women's title matches, or is just used to further advance angles. It's exactly what you'd expect from the Attitude Era. That I agree with. The in-ring stuff mostly lacked, but the storylines were advanced and there was a swerve. I disagree though with that, mostly because like Shamrock Rock wasn't a bad match. There was some good matches that, like, from a wrestling standpoint, were still good matches up until their finishes. I think it's a good show. I think it is one of the better shows of the Attitude Era. I think this show highlights all of the best parts of the Attitude Era very well.
And also the worst.
And also only puts the worst on for like 3 minutes. So
yeah, but like 3 minutes 7 times.
Right. But hey, that's 21 minutes over, like, let's just say, not to shade because I loved the show, but AEW Double or Nothing this past year that had a close to similar amount of matches, maybe a few less, but went like 5 hours.
Yeah.
Anyways, from us here at Specifically Devoid to you, thank you for watching the Devoid Wrestling Podcast. We'll see you next time.